Make sure my audio is good here. Looks like it is. Hello, America. I want to talk to you for a minute. It says click here at any time to view the post on Facebook. All right, well, I'm just going to go with this. It says I'm live. So I have a new vision for J SlayUSA. I've interviewed a lot of guests who I consider to be experts in their field, or they've made bold and courageous moves. And I think that is all well and it's all good. It hasn't always gotten me a lot of views, or hasn't always built the platform the way that I'd hoped. But as I've uncovered more and more in my own life, I'm going to just share a little bit of personal journey here. Since leaving my corporate career, the golden handcuffs, and deciding I want to jump into uncovering truth, setting people free, helping people to fight for what they know is right and good and true. As I've walked this path, I've also uncovered so much corruption. I mean, we were right in the middle of COVID, and you look back into the origins. I guess I should be careful even using that word. You look back into the origins, you see the patents, you see the players involved, and the benefit that has come from that entire thing. Again, I'm going to use caution on how I talk about it. And it really led me down a rabbit trail of just realizing how our institutions, the big three-letter institutions that are both national and global, are not to be trusted. Just based on history, based on looking at the results, based on looking at who is benefiting the most. And it can really be paralyzing. It can also take you down some rabbit trails that aren't always true when it comes to conspiratorial things. But what it can really do is it can, like I said, paralyzing. It can take you down a road of darkness, death, anger. I definitely don't want that to be the spirit behind what I'm doing on J SlayUSA. I was listening to the Order of Man podcast this morning with Ryan Mickler. I love that guy. I love his podcast and what he's doing. And Ryan, interviews all kind of guests, but he's very, very focused. His whole thing is the order of man, and a man's goal and role in life is to protect, provide, and preside over their family, over their lifestyle, their community. Protect, provide, preside. He's got a very clear vision. And he talked about leaving his corporate job. I believe he was a financial planner. And he didn't use this analogy, but it was kind of like, you've got this lump of clay and you know that this is what you want to pursue with your life. And it's going to be scary. It's going to require sacrifices. All those things. And in order to do that lump of clay, you've got to be like a sculptor. You've got to begin to kind of cut into it and pull out separate the wheat from the chaff, pull out the things that are no longer needed, in order to define that sculpting and have a good finished piece of art there. And he said sometimes on that journey, you find out that, you're going down a path that isn't necessarily the direction you should be going. And what should you do at those times? Well, you should immediately stop, turn around, and go back. And that's very difficult because as you've already expended energy going down that direction. But the best thing to do is to cut your losses, get back on the original track, the original plan that you were on. So when I look at what I'm trying to do here, yes, I do want there to be an awareness of the problems in our world, but I want there to be a solutions-based approach on things that we as the regular people of the United States of America can control, things that we can actually make a dent and do good things, good works. So I want to bloom where I've planted. And I was talking about listening to the podcast this morning, but I was also on a walk last night. And I feel like God gave me a very clear just sentence of 3 words. And it was mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. I don't know why I wouldn't spirit. You always hear mind, body, spirit. But mind, body, and soul. And I have always loved the idea of the connectedness between our minds, our physical bodies, and our spiritual foundation, or where our soul is at. And there's a centeredness that needs to be there physically, mentally, spiritually, if we're going to be able to work out love and good deeds in this world and protect and provide and preside. So I want to start bringing more of an approach of what are the things that we can do to be physically fit? What are the things we can do to be mentally fit and aware of what's going on in our world? And what are the things we must do to be spiritually grounded and spiritually centered? Because I know for me, when I'm off spiritually, the mental stuff doesn't follow far behind before I get off mentally. I get going down maybe rabbit trails that aren't serving me well. And then physical fitness. I've not been in the gym the way that I should. I've not been working out. I've not been eating right, because it's easy when you're going down a path of let's say cloudiness or unclarity. It's easy to begin to lose that physical fitness that we should have. So I want physical fitness, spiritual fitness, mental fitness to be at the front and center of what I'm bringing at J SlayUSA. It doesn't mean that I won't have guests talking about things that are conspiratorial or we're uncovering corruption, but it's only going to be for the purpose of what can we do about it now. So we must be aware of what's going on in our world. We must be physically, mentally, and spiritually fit in order to implement solutions, because that's something that we can control. So I'm kind of talking to myself as much as anybody else right now, because this is the direction that I want to take. Is more of a clarified approach towards solutions. So I've talked for 6 minutes about this, probably already too long, but just forgive me. It's one of my first Facebook Lives. If you want to help me bridge this gap, if you'd like to support, I do have a GoFundMe page set up to help me on this journey to turn a passion into a career. Not really asking for money at this time, but I'm saying if you want to support me and you already know, like, hey, this is a good thing, we support this mission, then feel free to help out right there on that website. So anyway, thanks guys. I'm on this journey along with you as I clarify my mission, and I appreciate all the growth. It's been amazing growth on Facebook. Just the last 2 months, I've gone from having 700 followers on Facebook to we topped 8,000 this morning. Not always sure why. I just put out things that are of interest to me. But I do want to bloom where I'm planted and have an approach that goes toward mental, physical, and spiritual fitness. So thanks for watching along, guys, and I look forward to seeing you back soon on J Slay Made in the USA.